Dr. Christopher Gardner, a Stanford nutrition scientist with over 25 years of clinical research in aging, metabolism, and vascular health, is sounding an urgent warning. We've long told seniors to take their vitamins, but what we haven't said enough is which ones, in what form, and how they interact once inside the body. Especially after 65, circulation is no longer just about arteries. It's about micronutrient signaling, mitochondrial energy, and nerve integrity. According to Dr. Gardner, one of the most overlooked causes of cold, numb legs in seniors is not age itself, but subtle imbalances in 5 key nutrients that regulate blood flow, muscle tone, and nerve conduction. The legs are the furthest point from your heart, and the first to suffer when micronutrient delivery fails. He explains, what you eat, and more importantly, what you absorb, can either keep your legs energized and steady, or leave them cold, weak, and unsafe. Even more concerning, these imbalances often mimic natural aging. You may think your legs are just getting old, but in many cases, what you're really feeling is a preventable nutrient breakdown. Gardner says, drawing from peer-reviewed studies and metabolic tracking in seniors over 65, Dr. Gardner has identified a precision vitamin combo, 5 nutrients that work together to restore leg circulation, support muscle-nerve communication, and help older adults stay mobile, independent, and safe at home. If your legs feel colder, slower, or shakier than they used to, he adds, don't ignore it. These are early signals, and they're telling you something is missing. Today, we'll show you the exact 5 vitamins to focus on, and how this science-backed combo could help protect your independence well into your 70s and beyond. Vitamin B12, the spark that keeps your nerves and legs awake. Vitamin B12 plays a vital role in the way your body communicates with itself. Before your muscles can move, before your legs can feel warmth or texture, your brain must send signals through long nerve fibers to your limbs. For those signals to travel clearly and quickly, the nerves need insulation, a protective coating that helps messages move efficiently. That coating is made of a substance called myelin, and vitamin B12 is essential for its production and maintenance. As you age, your ability to absorb B12 decreases. Your stomach produces less acid, which is needed to extract B12 from food. Even if you eat meat, eggs, or dairy, the primary sources of B12, your body might not be getting enough. Many seniors also take medications that further reduce B12 absorption. Over time, this silent deficiency begins to affect your nervous system, especially the long nerves that travel to your feet and legs. The symptoms often begin subtly. You may feel a slight tingling in your toes or a dull numbness in your soles. Your calves might feel heavy in the morning. You might lose balance briefly or have trouble judging where your foot is as it touches the ground. These are early signs that the nerves are struggling to carry messages. Without enough B12, the protective myelin sheath begins to break down, and signals from the brain slow down, get distorted, or stop arriving altogether. Muscle control also becomes less efficient. The brain's instructions telling the leg muscles when to contract, how tightly, and for how long may arrive too late or in fragments. This can lead to clumsy movement, shakiness, or a feeling of disconnection between intention and action. It's not just weakness, it's miscommunication, and it can quietly increase your risk of falls and injuries, especially at night or when fatigued. In addition to supporting the structure of nerves, B12 is also required for building red blood cells. These cells carry oxygen to every tissue, including the muscles and nerves in your legs. Without enough oxygen, muscles tire more quickly, and nerves lose their ability to function smoothly. Cold, numb feet may not always be a circulation problem. It may be a sign that your nervous system is underfueled and undersupported. If this deficiency is not corrected, the damage can progress and become harder to reverse. That's why early recognition and consistent supplementation are important. B12 doesn't act like a stimulant. It won't give you a sudden energy boost. Instead, it works quietly, helping your body repair the nerve lining, restore blood oxygen delivery, and improve the clarity of brain-to-body communication over time. Most seniors benefit from taking B12 in the form of methylcobalamin, the active form that's more easily absorbed and used by nerve cells. For those over 65, especially those with absorption issues or symptoms of deficiency, sublingual tablets or B12 lozenges that dissolve under the tongue are often recommended. These forms bypass the digestive system and go directly into the bloodstream. A common dose is 1,000 micrograms taken a few times per week, but individual needs can vary. Think of B12 as a signal booster, not loud or flashy, but essential. Without it, the lines between your brain and body begin to fade. With it, those connections become clear again. Your legs feel more awake, your movements more certain, your steps more secure. If you've been noticing cold feet, frequent imbalance, or a strange loss of sensation in your legs, it may not just be aging. It may be your body asking for a nutrient it no longer absorbs well on its own. Restoring B12 is not a quick fix, but it's often the first step in helping your body remember how to move with confidence again. While B12 keeps the signals flowing, vitamin D3 and K2 ensure the roads they travel remain open and strong. Vitamin D3 plus K2, the sunshine team that keeps you standing strong. Before your legs can feel warm or steady, before your muscles can move with purpose, and before your feet can stay grounded without effort, your body must deliver calcium to the right places and keep blood flowing freely through small vessels. Vitamin D3 and K2 are two nutrients that help make this happen, especially after the age of 65. Vitamin D3 helps your body absorb calcium from the food you eat. Without enough D3, your intestines can't take in enough calcium, no matter how much milk or leafy greens you consume. When that happens, your body starts borrowing calcium from your bones to maintain balance. Over time, this weakens your skeletal structure, especially in your hips, legs, and spine, making your posture less stable and your steps less secure. But D3 does more than support bone strength. It also plays a role in muscle function. Calcium doesn't just sit in your bones, it acts as a messenger in muscle cells. For your muscles to contract and relax properly, calcium must enter and exit the cells at the right times. Vitamin D3 helps regulate this flow, allowing your legs to respond quickly and steadily to signals from the brain. Without enough D3, your muscles can become stiff, slow, or shaky, especially when standing up, walking, or climbing stairs. However, increasing calcium absorption alone isn't enough. Once calcium enters your bloodstream, it needs direction. This is where vitamin K2 comes in. K2 activates proteins that guide calcium into your bones and away from your arteries. Without K2, calcium can settle in the wrong places, such as the walls of your blood vessels, making them stiff, narrow, and less able to carry warm, oxygen-rich blood to your legs and feet. Think of it like a construction crew without a foreman. D3 brings the bricks, but K2 tells the team where to build. Without clear direction, the materials pile up in the wrong places, creating more harm than support. This matters because proper blood flow is essential for leg function and warmth. When arteries stiffen, especially in the lower limbs, circulation slows. Cold, numb feet may follow. Muscles don't get the oxygen they need. Nerves lose their sensitivity. You might notice your legs feel heavier, weaker, or colder than usual. This isn't just age, it's often a nutritional imbalance. D3 and K2 work together. D3 increases calcium levels in the blood, while K2 ensures that calcium reaches the bones and stays out of the arteries. Both are fat-soluble, meaning they're better absorbed when taken with foods that contain healthy fats like eggs, avocado, or olive oil. Most experts recommend vitamin D3 in the form of cholecalciferol, the natural version your skin makes from sunlight. For older adults, around 2,000 IU per day is a common amount. Vitamin K2 is best taken as MK7, a form that stays longer in the body. A dose of 100-200 mcg per day is typically used alongside D3. However, it's important to consult your doctor first, especially if you take blood thinners or have a history of cardiovascular disease. If your legs feel cold, if your balance has changed, or if your muscles don't respond the way they used to, it may not be just aging. It could be a lack of the nutrients your body once managed easily, but now struggles to produce or absorb. For many older adults, restoring D3 and K2 is a small change that supports strong bones, healthy blood vessels, and stable legs one step at a time. Like opening the blinds to let the morning sun in, these two vitamins can quietly brighten the way your body moves and feels. But sturdy vessels alone aren't enough. Your nerves still need power. That's where vitamin B1 quietly steps in. Vitamin B1, the first spark that sets your system in motion. Before your legs can move, before your muscles can tighten or relax, before your brain can even say stand up, something quieter has to happen. Energy must be made. And not just any energy. The kind that powers nerve signals, fuels blood flow, and keeps your muscles alive, not tired, not confused, not frozen. That spark begins with a simple vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. Think of B1 as the ignition key to your body's energy system. Without it, your engine turns, but never starts. Every cell in your body, especially in your legs, needs fuel. That fuel is glucose, the sugar in your blood. But glucose on its own is like logs sitting in a fireplace. Without a match, it won't burn. Vitamin B1 is that match. It activates the enzymes that unlock energy from glucose and makes it usable for your nerves and muscles. This is especially critical in your legs, where nerves are long and muscles demand constant coordination. If there's not enough B1, those nerves can't signal properly. Your muscles don't get enough energy. Your steps slow. Your balance wavers. You might feel like your legs are dragging behind the rest of your body. Even worse, waste builds up. When glucose isn't fully processed, your body creates byproducts, chemicals that irritate and inflame nerves, especially in the feet and hands. This is why low B1 levels are often linked to the same sensations described in our video: tingling, burning, numbness, coldness, even stabbing foot pain, symptoms that often appear at night or when resting. So, why does this happen more often after age 65? As you get older, your ability to absorb B1 decreases. Certain medications like diuretics for blood pressure or metformin for blood sugar can lower B1 levels further. Diet also plays a role. Many processed foods remove natural B1 during production, and, unless those foods are fortified, you might not be getting enough. And if you've ever heard of tired but wired legs, restless, twitchy, or numb at night, that could be your nerves calling for help. They're trying to fire, but they're running on empty. Here's where things get practical. There are two forms of B1 used in supplements. The basic form is thiamine HCl, effective, but not always well absorbed by older adults. A better option for seniors is benfotiamine, a fat-soluble version that enters cells more efficiently and stays longer in the bloodstream. Most people over 65 who are low in B1 may benefit from 150-300 milliliters of benfotiamine per day, usually taken with food. It's gentle, and you don't need to take it forever, but it may help reboot your nervous system over time. And no, B1 isn't just about energy. It's about clarity between the brain and the body. When nerves get enough B1, they transmit signals cleanly, like a phone line with no static. Your foot knows where the floor is. Your muscles know when to hold or release. The fog lifts. The drag disappears. If your legs feel heavy, cold, or off, if you've been told you have borderline blood sugar, or you've been on diuretics or heart meds for years, if you're eating less or skipping meals, or living mostly on toast and tea, B1 could be what's missing. Not to give you more energy to run marathons, but simply to help your nerves wake up. Your feet feel like yours again, and your legs carry you confidently, steadily into the next day. Sometimes, the first step to standing tall again isn't exercise or willpower. It's restoring the spark that lets the whole system move. Once nerves are powered, they need clarity and control. Vitamin B6 fine-tunes the messages to your muscles. Vitamin B6, the messenger that keeps muscles and nerves in sync. To walk safely, to keep your balance, and to avoid the cold, tingling numbness that often creeps into aging legs. Your body relies on a quiet but crucial process communication between nerves and muscles. Vitamin B6 plays a central role in that communication. It acts as a coenzyme, a helper molecule that enables chemical reactions to happen, especially those involved in creating neurotransmitters, the messengers your nervous system uses to send signals throughout the body. When you lift your leg, dozens of nerve cells fire almost instantly, sending instructions from your brain to your muscles. These instructions travel across synapses, tiny gaps between nerve endings, using neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. Vitamin B6 is essential for making these messengers. Without enough B6, the instructions get weaker, slower, or may not arrive at all. The consequences may seem subtle at first: a twitch in the calf, a strange buzzing in your feet, or a heavy feeling when walking. But over time, the loss of proper nerve muscle signaling can lead to instability, slower reaction times, and cold, numb sensations in your lower limbs. These are not simply signs of age, they're signs of disrupted signaling. B6 is also involved in producing hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen. When B6 levels are low, your blood may carry less oxygen to your tissues, including muscles and peripheral nerves. Reduced oxygen can make legs feel weak or slow to recover after movement. It can even contribute to the kind of dead leg feeling many older adults report at the end of the day. Beyond neurotransmitters and oxygen transport, B6 helps regulate homocysteine, a byproduct of protein metabolism that can irritate blood vessels and nerves when it builds up. Think of homocysteine as static on a phone line. Too much static, and the message gets distorted. Vitamin B6 helps clear that static, keeping nerve pathways clean and open. Your body can't store much B6, and as you get older, you may absorb less from food. Some medications, especially for blood pressure, heart disease, or inflammation, can interfere with B6 metabolism. Seniors with diabetes or kidney issues are also more prone to low B6, which may explain the higher rates of neuropathy in these groups. The warning signs may include pins and needles, coldness, poor coordination, or feeling like your legs aren't getting the message fast enough. The good news is that supplementing with B6 is simple. The most effective form is pyridoxal 5-phosphate P5P, the activated version your body uses directly without conversion. For older adults with symptoms of deficiency, or those on medications that interfere with B6, doses between 10 and 50 milligrams per day are commonly used, though higher doses should be monitored by a healthcare provider. B6 works best when taken with food and often pairs well with other B vitamins, especially B12 and folate, to support the full pathway of nerve repair and oxygen delivery. If your legs feel colder, slower, or less responsive than they used to, it may be a sign that the message system between brain and body needs support. Vitamin B6 doesn't fix everything overnight, but by restoring the messengers, it helps the conversation resume clearly, cleanly, and calmly. Like tuning a slightly fuzzy radio. The difference may feel small at first, but one day, you realize the static is gone, and the signal is clear. And sometimes, that's all it takes to feel grounded again, one message at a time. Even the best signals can't travel far without fuel. Vitamin B9 supports the blood that carries them forward. Vitamin B9, the builder behind blood flow and nerve support. When it comes to cold, numb legs, or a slow, heavy feeling when you walk, many people immediately think of poor circulation. And while narrowed arteries and weak veins can play a role, there's another piece of the puzzle that often goes overlooked: your body's ability to build healthy red blood cells and repair nerves. That's where vitamin B9, commonly known as folate, comes in. Folate is a water-soluble B vitamin that supports the creation of new cells, especially cells that divide rapidly, like those in your bone marrow. This is important because your bone marrow is the factory that makes red blood cells. These cells carry oxygen from your lungs to every tissue in your body, including your calves, feet, and the long nerves that support balance and sensation. Without enough folate, this factory slows down. Fewer red blood cells are made, and the ones that are may be too large or too immature to do their job efficiently. Oxygen delivery is a foundational process. Muscles rely on it for contraction. Nerves need it to fire signals. And when delivery slows, the signs are often felt in the legs: first coldness, fatigue, poor coordination, and a creeping sense of numbness. Think of oxygen like a mail service. When it runs on time, messages are delivered, energy is supplied, and everything moves. When the delivery slows, the system lags. Things get delayed, disconnected, or go quiet altogether. Folate also plays a role in the methylation cycle, a metabolic process that affects everything from detoxification to gene expression. But most importantly for aging adults, this cycle helps regulate homocysteine, an amino acid that, when elevated, can damage blood vessels and irritate nerves. High homocysteine has been linked to numbness, tingling, and increased risk of stroke or heart problems. Alongside vitamins B6 and B12, folate helps keep homocysteine in check, protecting both your circulation and your nervous system. As we age, several factors can lower folate levels. Absorption in the small intestine can decline. Medications like methotrexate, metformin, or certain antacids may interfere with folate metabolism. And diets that are low in leafy greens, legumes, and fortified grains often provide less than what the body needs. Seniors who experience ongoing fatigue, unexplained weakness, or neuropathy symptoms may be missing folate without realizing it. Not all folate is equal, either. The synthetic form found in many supplements and fortified foods is called folic acid, but this version must be converted by the liver into the active form called L-methylfolate before the body can use it. Some individuals, especially those with genetic variations in the MTHFR gene, cannot make this conversion efficiently. That's why many healthcare providers recommend L-methylfolate directly, as it bypasses the need for conversion and is immediately usable by the body. A typical supplemental dose for older adults is between 400 and 800 micrograms per day, usually taken with food. L-methylfolate is available as a standalone product or combined with other B-complex vitamins, especially B12 and B6, which work together in nerve repair and red blood cell production. For people experiencing symptoms like cold feet, tingling, or frequent muscle fatigue, consistency is key. Folate doesn't act overnight, but it rebuilds systems from the inside out. Think of it like restoring water to a dry field. The first drops might not change the landscape immediately, but over days and weeks, the roots strengthen, the flow returns, and function quietly improves. For your legs, that may mean better oxygen delivery, clearer nerve signals, and greater confidence in each step. If you're over 65 and noticing a slow decline in how your legs feel or respond, don't overlook folate. It's not flashy, but it helps build the blood and nerve pathways your body depends on gently, persistently, and step by step. Cold, numb legs, the kind that slow you down, rob you of stability, and quietly erode the confidence to move freely after 65. It often begins without drama, just a tingle, a heaviness, or the sense that your feet aren't quite yours anymore. Most people blame age or circulation, but what if the real root lies deeper in how your body communicates, rebuilds, and responds each night as you rest? The truth is, independence in your later years depends on more than strong muscles or good shoes. It depends on silent processes, how well nerves carry signals, how efficiently red blood cells deliver oxygen, how clearly the body repairs what wears down each day. And these processes depend, in no small part, on 5 unsung nutrients vitamins that act as co-pilots in the machinery of motion. Vitamin B1 keeps your nerves electrically active and your legs responsive, like a battery that powers clean signaling. B6 makes sure those signals translate into smooth, steady movement, building the neurotransmitters that tell muscles when and how to act. B9 helps your blood stay rich with oxygen, feeding every tissue from the soles of your feet to the tips of your balance nerves. B12 protects the insulation on your nerves, ensuring fast, undistorted communication between brain and body. And D3 with K2 strengthens the highways themselves, your vessels and bones, so blood flows freely and posture holds firm. These 5 aren't flashy. They don't promise overnight miracles. But together, they form a quiet foundation. A system that, when nourished, helps restore warmth to cold feet, stability to shaky steps, and vitality to everyday life. The best part, you can support this system starting now, not with expensive treatments, but with understanding, with small daily actions choosing the right form of B vitamins, pairing D3 with K2, eating in rhythm with your body's recovery window. Over time, you may notice fewer strange sensations in your calves, more strength when you rise, and one day, you'll walk across the room, down the stairs, or out the front door and realize your legs are yours again. Because freedom after 65 isn't about doing everything. It's about trusting your body to do the things that matter without hesitation, without fear, and without numbness holding you back.